We're here at Miss Octavia Sanders' house. She has been living in her trailer for quite some time now. And what we're finding is that a lot of our elders have been displaced out here in the Montrose area. This is where we're at. And they're being told that they have to lift their homes because they're in a low-lying area. But yet they're given no assistance. When Hurricane Harvey hit, that wasn't their fault. But now they're being told they have to spend their hard-earned money or money that they don't have to lift their homes when the federal and state governments knew this was low-lying area. So we're going to go and speak to Miss Octavia Sanders right now. And she's sitting here on the front lawn. How you doing, Miss Sanders?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
First, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Out.
You're welcome, and God bless
Yes.
you. God bless you. How you doing?
How you doing?
All right, Hilton Kelly. All right, nice to meet you, Mr. Wilson.
Let me show you what we dealing with.
My God.
This was my home, and I got some more pictures in here of this area.
Wow. Get in close, Michelle, and get a shot of that. Now this is your front yard. Wow. This looks like a lake. Oh my God.
The house on the next street. This is the guy's truck. This is the house across from the guy with the truck. This is the house across.
So how many feet of water did you have inside your home, Miss Sanders?
The water went up to my roof. And then it came down and was...
So the water was up to your roof?
It was up to my roof, all the way up to my roof. And when it came down, what's on the picture, that's where it stayed for a week. Because, you know, after everybody else water went down, the water stayed in this area for a week. So that's where it finally sat.
Yeah. And so your house sat underwater for about a week or two?
A week.
A week.
I said a week.
Wow. And so when the water did recede, of course, everything inside your house
Oh,
was down.
gosh. Everything in my house went on top of the road. This here's a house that's on stilts. This lady here can park.
The highest house out here.
Okay.
This is
Like they have in Galveston.
right. This is the tree. Big tree like this.
Okay.
And that's how high the water is.
Oh my goodness. So that's every bit of about 9-10 feet of water.
That's what it is.
And so you're telling me this whole area, I'm 6'2". So that had to be, oh my God.
The tree right here, the force of the water is what got that tree.
Broke it over.
Right.
So when the water came, where were you?
When the water came, I was at my sister's house. And my sister's house is on stilts.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened, my sister, we kept watching the water. When it got to the second step, we panicked. And we started calling everybody, please come get us. There was 16 of us in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We started calling everybody, please come get us. Please get the water, get ready to get in the house. And they said they had so many people, so they didn't send anybody.
And where was your sister's house at? Where was your sister's house?
It's on Amy.
On Amy?
Next street.
And that's the next street over? Okay.
So her house is way up in the air on stilts, and it was
You just gotta
two
get in the front.
steps. It was 2 steps to getting in her house.
Wow.
So the helicopter came and got us. That's how we left. The helicopter came and got us, and I went to the Trump Church, left from there and went to Beaumont to the arena, left from there and stayed in Dallas for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks. And so when you returned home, of course, tell me what you saw when you came home.
Before I returned home, one of my neighbors sent this to me.
Oh my goodness. So it's a neighbor gave you these pictures.
A neighbor sent that to me. So when I returned home, I stayed with my son a while. And then FEMA called and told me they was going to put me a trailer.
Uh-huh. So how long after you returned home did you get a trailer? Did you get it right away?
No.
It was sit here for a whole 2 weeks before they even hooked it up.
No, I guess maybe 3 weeks, I'll say maybe a month before I got the trailer.
Okay.
Then I got a call one day that said that they did not want to put a trailer out here because this was a flood-prone area.
It's a flood-prone area. Okay.
They was going to put it in a trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited and waited and waited because my son said, well, ask them, can they put a trailer in my yard so I can kind of look after it. waited. I never did hear from them. And then somebody from the state called me one Sunday and said they changed their mind. They're going to go ahead and put the leaving trailer here. So they was going to move it from here and bring it to my son, but then they ended up letting it stay here.
Mm-hmm. And so this is your house. Mm-hmm. This is your trailer here. Mm-hmm. And you've been having it now for how long? Because it's been 8 months since Harvey hit.
I've been having it about 3 months.
About 3 months?
About 3 months.
So you were without a place to stay for about 5 months?
I was with my son, yeah.
Oh my God!
I was with my son, and
it was. I'm pretty sure it was an ordeal getting the trailer, wasn't it?
In the house because what happened? I went to every meeting they had.
Okay.
And if you want, I can unlock that door and let you take a peek in there.
Yes, ma'am. We could do that. So see, this is what a lot of our elders are going through. Ms. Sanders is an example of what hundreds of older folks are going through in the Montrose area, in Port Acres, in El Vista, Lakeside, Palomar, you name it. This is what's happening. These folks are retired, and now they're being told that they have to lift their homes with their own dime. And the federal government, it's not going to help them. It's not fair, or you can't rebuild.
Lift it up, you can tear it down.
Yeah, like I said, I've been going to every meeting.
Yes,
trying
ma'am.
to get some directions.
Uh-huh.
It's small, but it's home.
And so this is your living room, your kitchen, wow, and the bedroom.
Okay.
This is the bedroom back here.
One of the meetings that I went to,
Mm-hmm.
it was chaos.
Wow.
Yeah, it was chaos at the meeting because people wanted to get back in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
People had questions. They was not really answering the questions
Yes,
that
ma'am.
they had. And so finally they had everybody form a line. And if you wanted to get a permit to try to start the work on your house, you had to get in that line.
Okay.
Okay, if you lived in a low line area, you had to get that line. So I ended up in a low line area.
Right.
And as soon as he looked at it, he said, oh no, he said, you can't build anything now. He said, you have to have a permit, but before we can issue a permit, your house have to be raised. So I said, he said, yeah, your house have to be raised. He said, but we got to send an inspector out to see the condition of your home.
Mm-hmm.
The inspector came out. This is
Can we lower the television?
Yeah, I'll turn it.
Thank you. Just lower it a little bit.
Where is it? Is that on the side of you?
Yeah, that way we can. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
turn it.
turn it off.
Turn
Okay.
it off.
Okay, and then we could just get on her just so she could tell her story. Now, so when you got in line, this is what the city of Port Arthur.
No. When I got in line, he told me they wouldn't issue me a permit. He told me, he said,
Notice of sustainable damage determination.
Yeah.
Okay.
we're gonna send an inspector to your house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so inspector called me at my son's house. I came out here. He went in the house and he said, my God. He said, it'll cost a lot of money to fix this house. He said, I'm going to deem it as substantial damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he put on his
Right.
paper.
Substantial
So
damage.
they got all this crud down here
Mm-hmm.
that I need to do to bring the house into compliance.
And you have to pay for it.
Yeah, they didn't tell me nobody else was going to pay for it.
Now,
Nah.
you know, the one problem I have with this is that for years, African Americans have been put in low-lying areas.
Right.
From Mississippi to Alabama, all the way into the state of Texas. And as you know, well as I, we had to live in certain areas during the Jim Crow area.
Yeah.
And this has always been a low-lying area, and they knew that.
Yeah.
So why in the heck would you have to flip the bill on now raising your home when the state and federal governments have always known that these properties are low-lying areas?
And
historically.
we pay out here, we pay more flood insurance than anybody because it's a low-lying area. And until 2 years ago, I had flood insurance, but my husband passed, and I just couldn't. I had to cut loose on some
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't afford all the
so
insurance.
I kept my homeowners and I kept my windstorm. but I let the flood go because we hadn't flooded out here and I don't know when. So
right.
So I let that go, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
This is today's date is April the 19th, 2018. And we're here in the Montrose area in Port Arthur, Texas, speaking to Ms. Sanders. As I said earlier, she is one example of hundreds of elderly folks that are dealing with this. Retired, limited income, were victims of Hurricane Harvey in a low-lying area where they historically had to live during the Jim Crow area, and many still live here today because this is their land. This is what they passed on from generation to generation. State and federal governments have always known that these have been low-lying areas. So why should you have to flip the bill to raise your house now? There should be federal and state dollars pouring into these communities as they would do for any other community more affluent than this one. And so now what's happening right now?
Okay, I've been to the housing department in Port Arthur where Miss Beverly Freeman is over this housing. And she told me that there was going to be some federal dollars coming through here. And she took a little short application on me and said whenever the money arrived, she would send it to regional planning.
And what is her name, Beverly?
Beverly Freeman.
Miss Beverly Freeman, okay.
And I told her, I said, you know, before Hurricane Harvey came, I was already in the program to have the house towed down since 2008. But
that was since Ike, right?
They just kept telling me they just kept running out of money. They just kept running out of money, and they never did call me.
Wow, so you never did get the money you was promised?
Never did get it. I had even been called and filled out all kind of applications and everything. And one day the lady called me. She said, "You are in luck. We're working on your application." And 5 months passed. Never heard from them anymore.
And still never got it.
Never got it.
And see, these are the kind of shell games that they've been playing. I myself, during Hurricane Ike, we evacuated. I had, I think, about maybe 13 people that traveled with me, a caravan of cars. I paid for hotel rooms, kept my receipts, everything. FEMA kept saying they were going to take care of it. Okay, finally they came to Port Arthur. They were at the Civic Center, asking people to bring their receipts if they had any claims. Brought the receipts, kept dates, everything. I'm still waiting on that check since 2008, and here it is now, 2018.
Now, FEMA, they did at my son's house. I filled everything they told me to fill. They did send me. I could have cried when they did. They didn't send me enough money to buy appliances if I have to buy it. All the stuff I lost. But they did send me money to fix my house.
Okay.
But it won't touch the damage of that house.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I don't want to ask how much it was, but did you get an inspector?
I can tell you how much it is, but I don't want it on film.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it later. But
I don't want it on
the
film.
damage that has been done to your home, the percentage that you got, how much more do you think you need? About 20 or 50% more than what you received?
No, I'm like this about this house. That house then shifted. The roof have caved in. The carpenter came and told me it was going to cost $89,000 or more.
Wow! And I know you probably didn't get nothing over $25,000.
Oh no!
I could bet.
No.
Because I think the minimum that it was given here, I know for a fact, we got $22,000. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
And the contractor came out to our house and said, "This is nothing under $39,000 because, as you said, the house shifted." The walls have buckled away from the foundation, and you can see the daylight coming in about with a gap 2 feet wide from the house. And take a look out the window at the roof. Let's see what we're looking at here. You see the roof?
Yeah, it buckled because the water.
Oh yeah, it's kind of sunken right there in the middle. Well, we're gonna walk inside there. We'll take a walk through there. So now, what is your position? Where are you going from here? Do you have the money to fix the house? You don't have the money.
I do not have the money.
Have anybody from Port Arthur contacted you about the money you spoke about earlier? Have anybody been communicating with you?
Like I said, I've gone to every meeting. I've talked to everybody I can talk to. And Ms. Freeman told me just to wait.
Have you talked to a city councilman? Have the mayor contacted you? Anybody?
No. Let me say this. When I went to that meeting, they said you cannot do any work on your house unless you have a permit.
Right.
I know for a fact people is fixing those houses, closing in those walls with all of that dampness in there.
Right.
Because the city have not got off their duff and came out here to say, like you doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are y'all needs? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, just ask questions.
That's right.
They haven't said anything. These people don't have a place to stay.
Right.
So they want to get in their homes.
And you're in that same position
I'm in
right
that
now.
same
So
position.
once FEMA come around or the Southeast Texas Regional Planning to pick up this trailer, where do you go from here? You don't know, right?
No.
Because your house is still damaged?
Yeah.
And this is the trailer that you don't own.
No, I don't own it. I don't own it. And they give everybody a deadline for these trailers.
And then you don't have the money to lift your house,
No.
and you can't touch it until you lift it above a certain level.
Ms. Freeman told me that to just wait, because I said I didn't even let him gut my house out.
Right.
After the man told me it was
So
substantially
nothing's been done to your house since the
Nothing
storm.
has been done to my house.
This is really, really sad.
And
we need the state and federal governments to get
some
involved with
days-
this. We need some information from our local government. We need our city council to lead here. We need leadership. These folks need help, y'all. The mayor of Port Arthur, we need your help. We need your leadership. These folks need your help. We need some guidance here, economically, and what people need to do, because soon we're going to have a population of people that are going to be homeless. It's coming fast. We got another hurricane season coming up. And so we're just going to sit around. Who's applying for the money? We wrote a letter to Judge Brannon, who's over Jefferson County. We need our local officials to be more proactive in helping the citizens of Port Arthur. Let's take a look in your home.
Okay, go ahead.
You get ready for another one.
Yeah, if they would come out here, I used to kind of be the liaison for council.
Yes, ma'am.
I call meetings and come out and tell people what they need. But
Yes, ma'am.
nobody have came out here.
Wow.
Nobody have came out here.
Well, we want to change that
Some
because,
days I walk out here, I bust out and start crying to go back in.
and so this container right here, what's in this container? It's all your
This is like my dishes and
dishes and appliances,
yeah, things
table,
that, yes.
furniture.
Right after that one.
Right after that one, what happened?
It rained for about what?
Oh yeah, it rained again.
Yeah. It was a lake again.
All this was flooded
Water got into this.
because there's no drainage.
The second time I walked outside and water got in the storage.
The pump. Oh my God. So there's a pump from Drainage District 7, which
That's for the city.
for the city, and it never came on. So now we're just gonna take a look inside and see what kind of damage that Ms. Sanders incurred. And one of the things I want everybody to know
Be
that
careful.
her house has not been touched since Hurricane Harvey. And it's just as it was then, it's the same way it is now.
And my house had recently been remodeled.
Wow. Oh, and you can smell it. You can smell the mold coming out. But we're going to step inside, or I can step inside. I don't want anybody to get sick, but I'm going to go ahead and step inside now. Y'all stand outside, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, all right.
Just hold that door open for me. Wow, it's really, really heavy. I don't want you to get sick, Miss Sanders, but oh my God. And look at the wall, look at the mold all over the walls. And you have a big home, it's a beautiful home, oh my God. If you can smell it now, it's just really, look at this, the black mold all over the place. And as I stated, everybody, this is just not one person that's going through this, one of our elderly persons going through this. These are hundreds of elderly folks going through this. Many of them didn't get trailers, and they're living in these houses. We should be ashamed of ourselves, Port Arthur. Who's fighting for their rights on a federal level? Who's fighting for their rights on a state level? Who's chopping up the funding that's coming to our community? When will the help come? This is 8 months after Hurricane Harvey hit. 8 months. They keep talking about the money is coming. And we heard that Governor Abbott, the state of Texas, had received $5 billion. $5 billion. It was in the paper. There was supposed to be a meeting on Tuesday. They playing shell games with the meeting. So now they're going to say, well, we held the meetings, but nobody came. So how do we get the funding to the people that really need it? Look at this. This is all black mold. Her house is totally destroyed. And she didn't get nothing over $20,000 to repair all of this damage. Furniture, everything destroyed. And now she's in a trailer that she's going to have to get out of at the end of this year. And another hurricane season is rolling up right now. House paid for, but now she's being told she has to lift this huge house up off the ground before she could even start repairs. So she's stuck. Like many of our elders. Retired, was settled in, owned a home, and now she's homeless. We have to fight for these federal dollars. We have to get out there and protest to get our elders back in their homes, to give our renters their right to return home, to help them to reclaim the furniture and stuff that they once had, the possessions they once had. We cannot stand by in silence and let our elderly folks suffer this way. She can't lift the house off the ground until she get a permit. And there's no way that she's going to be able to pay for this. She has no money. And you have to lift a home off the ground before you can even start construction, a plan. So now, with all the federal dollars that's pouring into the state of Texas, they just got $5 billion. When will some of those dollars come here to Miss Sanders' home and help her? How long does she have to wait? It's 8 months after the storm. This house is trashed. The only thing you can do for this house is push it over at this point, and she don't know where she's going from here. And she can't repair it even if she wanted to because she has no funding. And it's in a historically low-lying area, and everybody has known it for years. Historically, black folks have had to live in these areas because the property values was cheap, and we were put here. The government, the federal and state government owe this community the money to rebuild. There need to be a program, a federal program and state programs put together to assist our elderly and those renters who have been displaced as well, who lost everything and now scattered all over Texas and Louisiana. Well, Ms. Sanders, God is with us. I'm going to do everything that I can to bring attention to this matter, which I am right now, because the world is watching right now. The world is watching, Ms. Sanders. The world is watching.
It's going to be all right.
We're going to help you. I'm going to do everything I can, Ms. Sanders. And Mr. Wilson, God be with y'all.
No, I need you to go around there with your mom.
Yes, sir. We're going to go look at it. But we're going to do everything we can because this is not fair. It's not right. And this is not American for us to allow our elderly to live under these conditions when we know there's federal dollars out there that are not being shared equally.
And how long?
And for how long? You got to wait. Because this trailer, this FEMA, show that trailer over there. That's going to be gone in a couple of months. That's all she has.
And I couldn't even get one.
And you didn't even qualify for one. What? We'll be back. Well, y'all, we got to get up off of it. We gotta band together. We got to work. We got to unite. We got to fight for Ms. Sanders' right, Mr. Wilson's right, and other elders just like them that are all over Port Arthur, Beaumont, all these areas. Simply because the media lights went off months ago don't mean that everybody's happy. Don't mean that everybody's settling in. 90% of the people are still hurting whose homes were impacted. I'm in a trailer myself, but this is not about me, but I just want to let everybody know. I'm fighting not only for the young folks, but we're fighting for the older folks. We're fighting for everybody that's been displaced. But Ms. Sanders, her situation is very unique. Homeowner. She owned this. Retired. And now she's being told by the city she can't repair her house until she has a plan to lift it up off the ground.
But they don't say where the money coming from.
And they're not going to give you the money to do
I
it.
would like to see them lift this house. This house has been in water for maybe 4 or 5 times. I'd like to see them lift this house.
And so, if it could be lifted, you'd like to have it lifted.
Well, Ms. Freeman told me that in the meetings she's been going to, that they seriously thinking about not building homes out here at all.
Right.
That's what she told me. They seriously thinking about it because it's such a low-lying area. They
Right.
don't want to put funds into this area.
Well, I think there should be a major buyout. Myself, I think the federal government, they've done it in other communities before.
They don't realize that this was a one-time thing. Although it can happen again.
Right.
We was raised up out here.
Right.
We had floods after
Not
floods,
like this.
but never like this.
Right.
Never. Port Arthur never had water.
No, not quite like what it was.
Like it was.
Well, you know, there was a reservoir that was opened up. The gate was opened up on the
Right.
reservoir north of Vida,
Right.
because they didn't want it to breach on its own.
That's right.
We know.
And so they didn't give us a warning or nothing. That's where a large amount of that water came from. Even though there was a lot of rain, a tremendous amount of rain, but it wouldn't have been as high as it was had they not opened up that reservoir. And we didn't get a notice.
And water came in here, we had debris going this way and debris going that way.
Well,
The
you
only
know
thing I
that
know
water
that
was
divide
that,
water is water.
it was strong to
It
build
was like a current.
that
Right, look
tree.
at the tree.
And yeah, that's the tree. So the water, the force of the water bent the tree over.
Well, my neighbor lived across 365 said they was standing on the porch and water was coming across the highway like wild horses.
Wow.
I mean, she said they just pushing in from that way.
Mm-hmm. And see, that shows you right there that there was a major release.
Right.
Because if the flood was from a rain, then it would have been a consistent
Right.
build. But when you
Right.
seen water flowing
Water
into this
flowing.
community and then it was building up,
Right.
that's proof that there was a release somewhere, and we know exactly what it was. It was the reservoir.
Because FEMA built
And
our
we
system.
lost that night. We lost 7 cars
My God.
because before night, everybody's car was sitting up like this.
Right.
And sometimes during the night, all we can see is the top of the cars. And it wasn't raining, so it was.
So where was the water coming from?
No.
Yeah. It was that release.
It was the
Yeah.
release.
Well, Port Arthur, we got a lot of work to do. Today is April the 19th, 2018. We're out here in the Montrose area in Port Arthur, Texas. We need you, leadership. We need you, City Council,
City Council.
Mayor,
Need somebody.
Commissioner Senegal, Judge Brannon, Governor Abbott. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? We're finished.